Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 47 of BDA Chat. Now, don't adjust your sets. No, this is not a repeat of a previous episode where we've just managed to get David. I don't know. My hand has gone that way because I've been looking at, and that's where my brain's. Look, you see. Oh wow. Anyway, we managed to bring David back, and we've got Rob back for his second episode. So this week, rather, we're going to be talking about basically the year in review, a celebratory episode really of everything that's happened in 2018, both from a BDA standpoint and from just generally around the world. So, who wants to start with their first highlight of the year?
Does it have to be in chronological order? Or can we just jump around?
I can jump around.
Oh, phew.
Jump around. Just go for it. Go for whatever you want. Firstly, hello, welcome back.
Hello, it's nearly Christmas. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's like next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
It's Christmas.
Exactly.
Is everyone ready for Quimbo? Is you all got all your stuff ready? Sorted out?
There's still a few bits and bobs. Going to rely on those Amazon last minute deliveries. Or other companies that deliver last minute.
I can't go into it, but there was a stat that was recently just been released. But I can't go into it. I'm sorry. I'll go into it off air. I'll talk about it later. I can't.
Okay.
It was good, but I just
All right.
Okay, so that's an off-air stat.
Okay.
So
who's going first?
Well, I'm going to get one of the most kind of boring, but yet one of the most talked about topics of the year out the way.
Go on.
GDPR?
Yes.
How did I know that?
And I can see your face already just kind of shriveling
up. No, I love a bit of GDPR.
Well, May 2018, GDPR came into full force. All this talk, all this preparation, and it came into full force. What did it mean? It meant what it's supposed to mean: consumer rights bolstered. You know, marketers have to think twice about the way they're collecting data and the way they're using data.
Yep.
And from our perspective, it was a really busy time for us, not because of our own data, but more because helping our clients kind of sort through what they've got, understanding what can be used and how it can be used, as well as, you know, the means that they're collecting it through forms, etc. So again, we did a lot of consultancy then, and you know what, it took up a lot of time.
Yeah, and what do you think of GDPR? 8 months in.
8 months in.
Whatever it is, 7 months
I have seen a reduction of the amount of spam I get.
Have you?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I
I don't
think
think I can say the same.
no, there's still people abusing it. Of course there are. But from like companies, major.
You're a
kind
spam target though, David.
No. I know.
He only browses in incognito mode. He doesn't want to give anything away. But no, the best thing about it is I think it actually makes marketers and companies work harder to understand their users rather than just pumping out high volumes of rubbish out to big lists. And I think it is a positive effect. Is everyone adhering to it? No.
I wouldn't say so, no.
From what I've seen, but yeah, I think it's had a positive effect. And also, even from some of our own data that we've seen email open rates increase. Because if they're receiving it, they should have opted in, so they want to know. So we've seen an increase. So maybe it's a little bit of resurgence in email marketing.
Because you were going to talk about another resurgence as well.
Well, this year was an interesting year. We saw a bit of a resurgence in print. And do you know what? We saw some major brands, right, running massive printed apologies. Oxfam
are one. Well, to be fair, if you just go back to the GDPR and data, Facebook.
I think
basically, Mark Zuckerberg put an apology based on the Cambridge.
Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah. So
it was literally a handwritten letter,
full
typed up letter, full page, printed ad in various publications, Metro, I think a couple of major newspapers around the world. So you had that one, and of course a slight different slant on it. KFC used it in the chicken crisis to run full page adverts in newspapers saying, well, they changed the letters around. Is it FCK?
Yeah, you know exactly what it is.
Just seeing if I'm going to get told off for saying it on the podcast.
No.
And they're just basically, they ran it in newspapers. You know, they went back to and magazines. So it was, not just the apologies, but actually companies turning back to printed media to get some of these messages across.
I think the actual ad was only run in 2 publications.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, the chicken one.
Yeah. Well, the FCK, we're sorry.
That's it, yeah.
And it's the PR and the social media
that gives it the legs.
That has given it a huge viral spread as a result of just the cleverness of the creativity in it. It was just very well done.
So simple, but just well done.
Hands up we're sorry, things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
But they've done it so cleverly.
Yeah, they
and
have.
therefore that's why it's one of the most talked about and best ads and PR campaigns of this year.
Yeah, completely. I think KFC just nail it so many times. Even their Christmas ad with the chicken versus turkey face-off.
Yeah,
they've had a bit of to be fair, they've kind of stepped up a bit.
Yeah,
I think this year. To be fair.
Yeah.
Beforehand, I wouldn't have said
for the right reasons.
Their ads have been anything stand out, but definitely this year.
And I love a Zinger burger.
No, I don't love a Zinger burger. Okay. They never represent what they. I don't know. Fast food represents what you. They all look a bit. What?
They don't look like the picture.
They look a bit like.
It's a bit like Tinder.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Like what? Anyway.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it has the printers. I think ads in print has been a massive leap forward.
I think print's really bouncing back, and we're in that age of tactile as well, where people like something to hold.
Full page press. It's just there's something about it. It's
yeah,
just like hey, it's like this is a big apology, or this is a big statement that we're trying to make.
I think also in the fact that even if it's not an apology or PR or something like that, in the fact that it just gives credibility. It's trusted.
It feels more than just a Google ad or something.
You're buying something of some value. You probably want to have a printed piece, brochure or whatever, to say, do you know what?
It kind of means more.
This has got some value. Have a look at this. I can stick it on my coffee table. I can pick it up, put it down, look at it, put it down again.
Yeah.
I think there is a definite resurgence, as you say.
Yes. There's a couple quick fire ones. There are more. Anyone else want to add some in there?
Quick fire. What quick fire?
Well, a couple of quick fire ones for me. What have you got, Lee? What stood out for you this year?
Oh, I've had loads. Run
through them.
My one is Project 84.
What's that?
It's a campaign that was run. I think it was by Calm. Do you know the Calm group? Basically trying to stop. Basically, what it is, 84 men a week in the UK commit suicide.
Right. Okay.
And
that's a very high stat.
What they did is they took 84 people, real personalities of these people that have actually committed suicide, and they made models about them, sculptures, dressed them up and put them on top of this morning building, basically on the very top roof. There was a building all 84 lined up, in a campaign to draw awareness to the fact that basically suicide is on the rise, and it's something that we need to start talking about.
Yeah, completely.
And in the 1 week of putting these sculptures on the top of this morning building, sign-ups increased by 80% to the Calm website. And you could also go through to the website and you could click on each of the 84 people that they selected, and you can find out more about them.
Wow.
And why.
It's pretty powerful, isn't it?
So that was one of the for me that was a standout. There's videos on there, so please go and have a look. It's definitely well worth having a look at that.
Where is it? What's the web address to look at?
I haven't got a website. It's just if you just Google Project 84.
Project 84.
Okay. That's what. The other one for me was the Nike one, which I don't normally like. I don't normally like.
Copernic.
Yeah, I love.
I'm glad you said his name. I can never say it.
No, right. I can't. I had his name. Colin Copernic.
I was typing it into Google to get it to phonetically tell me how to say it, but well done. It was.
But I love all that. Because NFL.
Yeah.
And it's about taking the knee during the national anthem.
Yeah.
But
divided opinion.
But Nike, they saw that. They saw an angle. We can, and they stood by him.
They took a calculated hit. They knew the fallout, but they also knew the how much exposure they'd get from it.
You look at the strap line, the copy line on it. So believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything.
Yeah, that's a good, isn't it? It just evokes it. It's just kind of like, oh,
goosebumps.
I know where you're going there. So that, for me, that one.
Do you know that the CEO of Nike came out a few weeks later after the campaign ran, and he reckoned, despite people burning socks and all sorts of other things, and all the negativity.
There was lots of negativity.
The split and divide of opinion. He reckoned it put $6 billion onto Nike's valuation.
Yeah, and they were so good. They projected the fallout, and they knew it was a hit here, and here. But they worked out. I saw an article on it. They worked out literally they were going to make a massive increase off the back of it.
Yeah, it's very clever.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Billy. I don't know if you've heard of Billy. Billy did a razor advert that basically was the first ever advert. It's video, you can have a look at it, it's great. That actually depicted a real situation when women shave. So it's women with hairy legs, women with hairy armpits, because apparently it's never been depicted at all. All shaving adverts feature
smooth
legs with no hair.
Smooth legs.
But Billy was the first. So if you that's it's the way they've cut it together. It's nice. And then for another one, McDonald's
the cut up
logo. That's genius. So basically, it's just McDonald's cut up logo, and they advertised it in high traffic areas. So basically, there's a part of the logo that says
directions.
That's it. Turn left. You've missed us.
Yeah, if you've seen this, it's on your right.
Yeah, it's on your right.
If you're seeing this, you've gone past us.
Yeah, it's just simple, but
so effective.
It's just the red and yellow of their logo, isn't it?
So effective, it won at Cannes Lions this year.
Did it?
Yeah.
No, it's
good.
I like
was only
that.
in Toronto, so how we managed to get hold of that. And then other than that, I've just got. It seemed to be a year of big brand buyouts.
Pepsi SodaStream.
Yep, you've got the Pepsi SodaStream. You've got the Coca-Cola buying Costa Coffee. You've got Sports Direct getting House of Fraser.
Yes. Sports Direct.
For a whopping 90 mil, could be a bargain, could not.
Michael Kors bought Jimmy Choo last year, but then went on to buy Versace or something for them as well.
Really?
Big, So they're swallowing up. Yeah,
the
big
big
buyouts.
one's probably Sainsbury's and Asda.
Yeah.
Them getting together and having a party.
Are they still in talks, or is?
I think that. Well, I think they said they've merged, but whether or not it's, there hasn't been any. We haven't seen any fallout from that, or any sort of name change of.
No, maybe it's still in the wings.
Sastas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Aspreys.
But then apparently Uber in talks to buy Deliveroo.
Deliveroo, their biggest competitor to their Uber Eats.
Yeah, to basically.
Swallow them up.
But so yeah, that's about it. Oh, and the other thing is that fashion retailers apparently seen a whopping great big rise in 2018. With the likes of ASOS, Boohoo, and Misguided.
Pretty Little Things.
These are on pretty much online only.
Yeah.
Focus massively on their user experience and their customer experience, make it so easy to get in and out there, get orders delivered, get them returned easy, that whole end-to-end customer experience.
Is the returns element probably one of the most important elements of it now?
Yes.
Because people return so much, order size 10, 12 and a 14.
Exactly.
Just to see what
exactly
it is.
that. Because you can't try it on.
Amazon now, have you seen what Amazon do?
No.
It's called Amazon Wardrobe. Amazon Wardrobe, you can order about, I think it's like 10 clothes from Amazon. They won't charge you a penny. You get them. You try them on.
A penny.
My mouth's always going somewhere. And if you don't, they don't charge you anything. And if you try them on, you like them, and you want to keep them, you keep them, and then they charge you. If you don't, you just send them back free of charge.
Yeah.
You say, in theory, you say, I fancy a new Coke to go out tonight with us.
Yeah, well, it was they solved that problem, didn't they? Of literally, I need to buy clothes online, but I need to try them on. But if I might get the wrong size. So how do you overcome that? Well, you can return it for free. Buy as many as you want. You can return it for free, and that's what everyone does with ASOS.
That apparently the biggest thing at the moment is click and collect.
Yeah.
People won't go to their store to buy, but apparently they'll go to the store.
Yeah.
To buy. Because you can it's easier, you don't have to, you can walk straight in.
No, exactly, when you can pick it up.
I've browsed online, I don't have to pay parking, I'll quickly nip in on my lunch.
I've done a lot of that this Christmas. Yeah, done a lot of that. I can get it delivered, but it's like, any time between 9 and 5:30, or actually from 11 o'clock tomorrow, you can just come and walk in and get it. Then you've got your hands on it, you know what time you've got it. Yeah. I like it.
A big rise was Misguided. You ever heard of Misguided?
Yeah.
I've heard of Misguided.
Yeah, massive.
You probably would have heard of Misguided. Where do you think they had their big hit this year?
Love Island.
Bang on. Love Island. Apparently, every time Love Island was on, their sales went up by 40%.
They became so recognisable from the adverts they were running, literally throughout the show.
I didn't know who they were, and then all of a sudden, not that saying I watch much Love Island. There you go.
Obviously, he does. What about the YouTube Rewind?
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that.
Have you not?
Apparently, it's got something to do with Bieber.
Well, no. It's had more dislikes than Justin Bieber's. Is it Baby? Song, which took 8 years to amass about 8 million dislikes.
What's so dislike about it?
This video?
Yeah.
Or Justin Bieber?
Why is it causing such a...
Well, this Rewind one. It's now. I had a look just before we came down here to do this. It had amassed about 11 million dislikes, and bear in mind it's done that in a very, very short period of time, like days, as against 8 years for Justin Bieber's song. Why is it disliked so much?
Yeah,
I think it's just apparently it's not showing the diversity of the YouTube experience, and really it's YouTube's marketers have put together a video they think their audience wants to see, and it hasn't really been put together from their viewer's point of view, the actual YouTube user's point of view.
Yeah,
that's the kind of message that, you know, when you read some of the articles and things that's been said about it.
Because I mean, the World Cup, it was a World Cup, the biggest sporting event in the world, watched by the biggest audience. I could be wrong, I think that's right, but they didn't even mention it in this rewind.
Yeah.
And yet it made up so many views on YouTube, clips from the World Cup.
Who was the fight? The KSI and...
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Not Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
So there was that fight, that wasn't even mentioned in it, you know, and that had, 800,000 simultaneous views. Or
what has the world come to?
Yeah.
Watching pay-per-view to watch two YouTubers have a fight.
I know.
I think it's brilliant.
I saw the Google one, and the Google one, literally the year in review, and that was just as bad, because it doesn't actually reflect. A lot of it was very highlighting on American news rather than the world, and I just thought it was a bit like they again ignored the World Cup, and they only focused on sporting events that happened in America or sporting events where the Americans did very well.
Yeah.
And he just thought, this isn't Google. This is not the world. This is not.
Yeah.
It was a bit rubbish.
Just talking of these kind of year reviews, what about your Spotify playlist year in review?
33,000.
I haven't looked at mine. This is fantastic.
33,000 hours you listen to. My goodness.
33,000. Yeah.
I think mine was about 15,000.
My top artist is Hans Zimmer. Soundtracks are my thing.
Hans Zimmer. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't ask David what his was.
Dave.
Oh yeah.
My oldest song.
I know
was
why
in the
now.
Rain.
Okay.
As well.
We still don't know who Dave is. David did this, and apparently he was listening to himself. An artist called David or Dave.
It's obviously my son's music. Some of the music that he listens to was the top of my list because he was using my Spotify account for some time, and there was like rappers and goodness knows what.
Still doesn't explain the Finger Boys.
No, I know that. Nothing will ever explain
Or
that.
Barbie Girl.
But for people who don't know what this is, do you go to their website, the Spotify website, link up your account?
It's a bit confusing.
I haven't done it yet, you see.
You'd think you'd do it in the app. You think it'd just tell you in the app, but it doesn't. You have to go through a website.
Link up your account, and it gives you all your stats for the year.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. A bit like, oh,
really? Do you reckon if you watched that...
The Greatest Showman was quite...
That's a great film.
Do you reckon you could tell someone's mood for the year if you kind of looked at that list? All right, I'm going to do mine after the show.
I don't know if you can tell someone's new. I just think you can just see what they've been listening to for a year and how much they've actually invested. If anything, I liked it of a point of view. I think it did two things for me. It made me realise, the obvious thing is what I've been listening to this year, what my musical trends are. Then it gave Spotify a chance to say, look, here's your playlist of 2018, which I listened to as well. Yep. And then on the other hand, it gave me like, it's 33,000 hours you've been listening to Spotify. And then right at the end of it, they gave me a link to share. If I wanted to share this with...
Share, the artist?
No, Share.
Oh, you must like Share. Here's a link.
no, share my playlist.
Oh, sorry, I get you.
Year in review
I get you, sorry.
With the world. And then I got right to the end of it, and I just thought, this is all kind of fun. But then right at the end, it made me realise, well, this is actually why I pay for Spotify. Because of all this stuff that I've been listening to and enjoying, and the different types of music that I've been able to find on there. So yeah, I think that's. I like what they did. It was a way of sort of like marketing to me, and I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, everyone likes seeing stats on their own usage, don't they?
And it gave me something to share with like people around the office. It was just kind of like, which I'll get onto that other stat which I cannot talk about. But I will talk about that.
It's like iOS introduced this year screen time, so you can see where your time's divided up. So you get little notifications at the end of each week going, you spent this much on social media, you know.
I said I had one of those notifications yet.
It's
eye-opening. Just how many times you pick up your phone and what you're using it for, and how many hours of your week have you given to that. And it's eye-opening, and everyone loves a bit of that, particularly with New Year's resolutions coming up. You want to see, actually, where am I putting my time? Actually, I'm going to spend less time on social media and more time with my head in books.
So just like talking about your own personal year in review, would you know, are there any kind of standout moments for you?
I think for me at BDA, I think one of the standout moments for me, I think this year, 2018, plastics has been a huge thing. You know, I think it started with Blue Planet too. All the plastic in the oceans. David Attenborough, you know, people saw it and they were like, wow. And it started a bit of a movement. So we saw like Adidas recycling football shirts and distributing it to the Major League Soccer teams, and they all wore them on Earth Day. Coca-Cola did various initiatives, and it literally across the board, so many brands doing so many initiatives. We worked with SWR New Star, Costa Coffee, and Edinburgh Airport to produce a coffee cup recycling sort of scheme at the airports. Tremendous hand-drawn illustrations created in-house here and brought to life through our creative and placed there. And do you know what? For me, it was one of those bits that it's very timely with all the discussions that are going on around it. And also it was a great opportunity for us to kind of, you know, put something towards it as well. And you know what? Yeah, really enjoyed that. I think that was one of the standout things. Yeah.
Lee?
What stand out at work?
Other than these podcasts, of course.
I think the podcast always been a standout moment for me, really. Verizon, obviously at the beginning of the year, worked on a Verizon video.
Mega video.
That was great. I really enjoyed that. That was hard work. That was a lot of learning. But the end result was amazing. Go on our website and have a look, please, at the case study that we put together for that. It gives you a bit more in depth, so there's no point in me going into it now. But that was great. I think for me, learning's always been my biggest thing, and realizing that you can learn things by moving just a little bit inside and outside of where you currently are. So let's not be so focused on marketing. Let's try to look at outside things that can influence you, and where you can tell stories. So for me, we all know my love of the NFL. And how much that has influenced not just me because basically it was when I was working for Verizon, I got into met Eric. Anyway, he got me into the NFL, and from that I've just followed it and loved it and watched the stories grow, see how the teams work together, use that in I now coach football and not American football, and how I can sort of bring that to that sort of environment. So, and then again, bringing it back into the workplace about how to develop teams and how to stay on top of things with your enthusiasm and and being courageous and just, fighting for that win. And so for me, this year has just been, I think if anything, this year has been, I think it'll sound a little bit odd, but it's been more about me this year, more about me looking at where I want to go next, how I want to, what things I need to be better at, what things I need to say, like, this doesn't matter to me anymore and I need to move on. To be fair, in actual fact, stop beating myself over the head with a freaking stick in that I don't know enough. I need to know more. I need to know that. I did that for years. And that crippled me because I was just thinking, I've got wife, 3 kids. It's hard to keep trying to stay on top of everything. And you can't. You cannot stay on top of it in the industry that I'm mostly in terms of motion. You can't keep on top of everything.
No. But
you just have to, as long as you keep learning, and as long as you're open to learning, you can go anywhere. And that, for me, that was the NFL, is what that's what this year's been about for me.
I think that's a podcast in itself, it's just the pressures of career and what we get bogged down in and where actually our focus changes. I think that's a really good topic in itself.
Well, because it can affect mental attitude. It can affect every aspect of your life. If you don't stay on top of, it's not staying on top, it's just keeping in check where you are, like going back to the iPhone, where you are spending too much of your time. Okay, I'm, too much excess in any area is sometimes can be a bad thing, and you've got to keep that in check. And if you don't, it's a slippery slope into working too much, thinking about things too much. And in our industry, where we're, the idea is key, and coming up with those creative ideas and coming up with those, new ways of telling stories or communicating with brands and customers, that if you're not in tune with lots of different things going on in your life, if you're not at peace with yourself in a way, which sounds a bit strange, but you're not receptive to those ideas. You're a closed book.
You do become closed.
You're so sort of like tunnel focused, vision on this is where I'm going. You're then not open to receiving a new idea or a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
So that for me is that's been the key this year for me.
Completely.
David,
what about you, David? Come on in,
Well, I think.
Was it The Walking Dead shutting down?
Sorry, what?
The Walking Dead.
What about The Walking Dead? Oh, right, yeah. Now I'm with you.
Was it you being removed?
Or praying for a Love Actually too.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year. You know, don't adjust your sets.
For those who aren't sure what they're going on about, apparently I can look a little bit like Andrew Lincoln.
He even knows his name. He's even got a business card that says my name's Andrew Lincoln.
It's not the first time that it's been said. Anyway, I think what I've realised, I was having a look at the books that I've read or listened to over the course of this last 12 months or so, and it's made me realise that I have a fascination in other industries, other professions. For example, there was a book called This Is Going to Hurt, Secret Life of a Junior Doctor by a guy called Adam Kay. I've then looked at forensic pathologists, unnatural causes, a chap called Richard Shepard, The Secret Barrister, which is about a barrister and the life of a barrister. Thing like Homo Deus and Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, which is the understanding of the human race. It's just really interesting to understand other people and other people's pressures in their lives, some of which they're dealing with life and death as a doctor, and how that puts your life into perspective, how you can learn so much from what other people do and how they do it and how they deal with things. And I think it's like Lee was saying, learning, developing yourselves, looking at other areas of life, of other people's lives, of other professions, of other industries, is really important to have a broad perspective on things, because you can bring so much of other people, and way other people look at stuff into what you do. And I've always been into people-y types things, whether that's films or books or podcasts or whatever. But looking at my very diverse books that I've ingested this year, it just has made me realise that it really is quite broad. And that's only some of them that I've...
You should give that masterclass podcast a listen. That is good.
Yes.
We'll put the link down to that, because that's a great podcast.
And you know what? I think that's the biggest thing I've discovered this year. In the car, I've had so much dead time travelling to and from work or to a meeting. Audiobooks or podcasts have actually turned that time into something else for me. It's got me thinking about different things. I found myself in 2018 consuming more sort of audio-driven media than ever before in my life.
My car time's become my glory time. It's not
Your glory time?
It is. It's because there's so many good things that can happen just when it's strange, because you should be concentrating about where you're going because you're driving. But, ideas can just pop in your head when you least expect it.
That's the thing. When you take your eye off what you're focusing on so much and actually you're distracted by something else, that's when your brain really starts connecting things it doesn't. And that's when these ideas come. The shower idea. Is that drive home idea.
Like you say, if you can find a good podcast or a good book. I've recently just signed up to Audible again to start getting some books again. But there's so much content out there.
Oh yeah.
And to be fair, there is so much that sometimes you need to. But I think you need to filter some of it out, because some of it, and that's why we could probably do a podcast about podcasting and which ones to listen to. But you almost need a filter as well, because I think if you go too much of one type of thing, again, it can get... So you need to liven it up so you've got a little bit of everything. It's like, if anything, it's like your learning plate should be a plate very similar to your food plate. Bear with me. But too much yellow on your plate is never a good thing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So
beige food.
Too much beige food. So no, too much of this fried food. So you need a good bit of carbohydrate, potato. You need colour on your plate. Then you need colour in your life. You need colour in your podcast. Colour in anything you do.
That's why I eat doner kebabs, because you get a bit of everything. You get the colour.
Pizza. You get a bit of everything on pizza, don't you?
Choose the right toppings.
Choose the right toppings.
No, I think you're right. Too much of one thing. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for the soul. You need to open your horizons, like David said, not just your industry. Look beyond that. Look for inspiration elsewhere.
Yeah.
So dare we touch on next year, or do we save that for another show?
I think we're probably saving that.
Save that one for another show, I think.
Yeah. What about here? Finally, they've probably got to wrap up, haven't we? But
probably. To be fair, we are counting down.
Yeah. In terms of any highlights from BDA, what BDA's done this year.
Week 52. That's my highlight. That's an internal thing that we get together and we just talk about what we've done at BDA in the week and how we strive forward to make next week an even better week than the week before.
Yeah.
In terms of work, there's been a whole range of works from the stuff that we did from IFS. It was great. Hello IFS, if you're listening. Obviously Verizon, and some of the pen video that we did with the blowing up the phone, setting off the fire alarm.
That was caused quite a stir.
So yeah, it's been a varied year in video production, from animations all the way through to live action shoots.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot coming up in January, February. We're just waiting on permissions and agreements to start filming there.
Absolutely.
Exciting.
What about you, Robert?
Really quickly, the mega website that was Michael Graham, obviously that was a labour of love, but the end result is absolutely stunning. It's on our website under one of the case studies. But beyond that, I think there's been, we've developed our first test version of our own chatbot, which is really exciting.
Has he got a name? Or she got a name?
No, at the moment it's a secret project name.
Ted.
Donde.
Donde.
Project Donde.
Project Donde.
No, to cover up the real name for it. But yeah, we've tested that. We're running some betas on that. That's really exciting. So that's exciting for next year because we're speaking to lots of our clients about that. And do you know what? We've spoken to one of the largest training providers in the UK. We've had some really good conversations, and there's an exciting project on the horizon in 2019. Again, can't talk about it right now, but lots of exciting things to chat about. And for me, finally, as ever, we keep evolving here. We keep moving forward. 2018 has been another year of that. I think 2019 is, I'm chomping at the bit. I don't know about you guys, just to get out there and get on with some of these projects that are on the horizon. It's really exciting.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Waiting in the wings.
Waiting in the wings.
Where you do?
I think for me, I think there's all the bits that we do here. There's a culture of learning, and we've talked quite a lot about that actually today, and it's about developing that, making sure that we are on top of our learning in order that we can be on top of our game for our clients and providing the best advice and the best execution for their projects.
Yeah, completely.
And that's really important. And so maintaining things like Investors in People Gold, our Great Place to Work, small business 7th placing was testament to that, because that kind of culture of learning and development and nurturing and caring and is obviously key to who we are and what we want to be for the future.
Completely.
So that's my kind of sum up.
Yeah.
And allowing the time, allowing space, allowing time to learn, I think is key. You've got to give yourself space to do that.
Yeah.
You can't try and cram that into your already packed day, because it won't happen.
No.
You need to be able to, and you need to be okay with that. You need to be, today I just need to do some research, need to go and research this, and if that means that needs to move out this way to allow that to happen, it will make things better for you in the future.
Amen.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess on that note, that's episode 47.
47
done. Next week we still here next week? We're still here next week.
We're still here next week.
We're still here next week. But this one's going out next week. So the week, anyway, let's not go
into that.
So please get in touch with us on our social media channels at LinkedIn, Twitter, and we're not on Facebook, we're on Instagram. So until next week, that's us saying goodbye. So we'll see you next week on episode
Christmas.
40. No, not yet, because we do that next week.
Do we?
Yes.
It's like a kind of
that's why
a bend in the space-time continuum.
We have,
just don't go into it.
That's why you saw me slip in, and then you
just
come walking in as well. You can't do Merry Christmas. Is that Merry Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is this?
No, it's not. I might as well do it now anyway, because now it's so rude if we don't.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
See you next week.
We didn't even talk.
We don't even wave. Why do we wave?
Talk about Brexit.
Oh yeah.
No,
thank God.
I'm sure this is going out next Friday.
It is, but then that's not.
But that's the Friday just before Christmas.
Christmas,
It's Tuesday.
Yeah. I just checked with Laura. I goes, this is not the Christmas one, is it? She goes, no.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
It must be because it's going out next week.
It's going out on Friday next week.
Why did she say no?
I don't know because the one you recorded when Tuesday or whenever it was.
That's this week's.
That's this week.
Then there's next week's.
Then there's this one that's just going out Friday next week.
She is. I think she's releasing one the following week.